Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing my quick 10-minute makeup routine whenever I want to look put together and have super glowy skin, and I have almost no time at all. So I have 10 products here, literally only 3 brushes, and I typically can do this in 5 to 10 minutes depending, and normally I'll do one step and then I'm running to feed my son and running back, and it's a whole thing. But this is my version of a really quick kind of glam look without going too crazy, and just very, very hydrated, glowy skin, which is what I'm all about. This video will probably be a little longer than 10 minutes just because I'm going to be explaining each product as I use it, which is obviously not something I do when I'm alone. So let's just go ahead and jump right on in. My first step would be SPF, and this is the Elta MD Skincare UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46 Facial Sunscreen, and this is, I want to say it's one of the top dermatologist approved sunscreens. I actually grabbed it off of my Low-Buy Life. I think that's what her Instagram is called. I follow her on YouTube as well. I can link her down below, but she was talking about this and how she bought it because she heard such good things and just what a good sunscreen it was. And I don't have time to do all that research, so I believed her and I just saw room for a really good sunscreen in my life. I've tried a lot of sunscreens and I've never been super happy with them just because my skin will be sensitive to it, or I feel like it's making me break out, or it just looks funny or greasy. But I actually really, really like this one. I just do a light layer underneath my makeup, or I do it if I'm not wearing any makeup and I know I'm going outside. So I've been enjoying that. And then right after that, I go into my Glossier Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid. I bought this recently, maybe a month or so back, and have been testing it out since then. I'm just going to go in with one drop. It's pretty liquidy, and I'm just going to pat that all over my face. So I do like this as a primer if you're using more of a lightweight foundation or something over top of it. That way it gives it the chance to show through the foundation. I don't know if I love it for its just using it on its own, because I feel like the look that it gives is the exact same look that I get when I do my full skincare routine in the morning, and I do a few serums and an oil and a moisturizer and then my sunscreen. I will end up with the same amount of glowy skin as I do with this serum. So I don't think you need this serum to achieve a glowy look if you're just planning to use it by itself. You could just use your skincare and still look the exact same. But I do think as a primer, it's really, really pretty. You can see, just adds a nice glow. All right, so I'm going to let that sink down for a minute, and I'm going to go into the Jouer Essential Lip Enhancer Lip Balm, which is a really nice kind of thick, glossy formula. I find it super comfortable. It doesn't really matter. I will use whatever chapstick or lip balm is near me. All right, next I'm going to go into the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer, and I have the shade Fair 2W. I really like using this for a quick makeup look. I feel like it is so beautiful. Again, I'm just going to go in with one pump. That is more than enough for me. And I'm going to do something I thought I'd never say that I would do, but I'm just dotting it on with my finger. And then I'm going to use my hands to blend it into the skin. So you can see, like I said, that's more than enough product. And I don't know, I just feel like if you use a sponge, it takes away some of the coverage. And if you use a brush, it takes longer to blend in. It blends in so well with the Glossier primer underneath it that I just feel like using my fingers is the best way to apply it. So as you can see, my skin is looking super, super dewy. So I have 2 different concealers. Sometimes I use one, sometimes I use the other, sometimes I use both. Just depends on how my skin is doing. I really like this Tatcha Moonlight. I'm not sure what the exact name of this, but it's like an eye cream that has just a tiny, tiny little bit of pigmentation. So here's what it looks like. It's a little bit darker than my skin whenever you look at it, and if you swatch it heavily, it's darker than my skin tone, but it is so sheer that if I use just a little bit, and this is just a baby sample, it works out really well for me. I really love this sample, actually. I could see buying the full size of this one day, even though I think it's going to take me forever to go through, so maybe eventually I'll be able to grab another sample of it. But I'm just going to go ahead and dot a little bit of that underneath my eyes. So I like using this because it is skincare. It's very hydrating. It's an eye treatment, but it also just adds a little tiny bit of coverage. And if I slept well the night before and my under eyes aren't too puffy or too dark, I will go in with this, and that's enough for me. I am going to go ahead and take my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer in the shade Fair 05W, and if I want more coverage underneath my eyes, this is what I would use. But I also like this for spot concealing just because it's a good shade for my skin tone, and I feel like it adds coverage, but it doesn't look cakey. I mean, sometimes I'll go with a little bit more if I need it, but it's not the end of the world if I have a little bit of redness peeking through. Actually, I have a little bit of stuff going on here too now. Just take a tiny bit of that, and I just dab it in with my finger. And then sometimes if my nose is red, I'll just tap over that as well with whatever's left over. Next, the last cream product that I have here is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek. I don't know what this is called exactly, but it is the shade Work, and it's just a cream blush. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of that on my finger and just dab that for a little bit of flush to the cheeks. Sometimes I use the ColourPop one. I just own one shade from their little blush stick line. I can't remember what the shade is right now. That one's a little bit more pinky and this one's a little bit more rosy. So that's nothing too crazy, just a very soft natural glow. Now I'm going to go into brows, and I'm going to use my Essence Make Me Brow, and I want to say, what is this shade? This is Soft Brownie Brows. I wish they had one of these available in a little bit more of a warm shade, but it's so affordable, I don't mind. So I just run that through my brows, kind of shape them a little bit, get them how I want to. I already have pretty full brows, so I feel like I don't need to do a lot, especially if I'm doing a super natural look. Alright, now for eyeshadow today. Sometimes I do eyeshadow, sometimes I don't, but I'm just going to show you for the heck of it. I've been using my Huda Beauty Nude Light, which I feel like is the perfect palette for this kind of look because it's super light, so I feel like it's hard to go overboard with this, and all my looks still end up being pretty light. So I have a big fluffy brush that I've been using for eyeshadow, but normally every day I just kind of do this and dust it off, and then I go into this light shade right here and pick up as much product as I can. Just kidding, not that much, but enough to coat the brush, and I use that to set underneath my eyes because it's the perfect color and it just prevents creasing. Sometimes I'll set other places on my face just if I want to do a very minimal amount, like right here on my forehead, just to help it last a little bit longer, maybe down my nose, and maybe a little bit on my chin. I also normally take that shade and throw it all over my lid just because I didn't go in with any eye primer because I'm being lazy, and I feel like this cancels out some of the color on my lids. And I'll again go in with that same brush, and sometimes I'll go into this brown, sometimes I'll go into this pink, but I'm just gonna go into the brown. Pick up a decent amount and throw that through my crease. Super fast. Alright, so sometimes I will also, if I'm feeling a little extra, I'll take, I have another kind of small detailed brush, and I'll go into this brown right here, pick up just a little bit, and add some definition on the outer half of the eye. I kind of just lay it down. Again, not being too precise or anything, just getting the color where I want it. I know it looks a little crazy, but then I'm just going to go back in with that other brush. I wasn't kidding when I said 5 to 10 minutes, okay? That's all the time we have. Also, sometimes take that brush and just go on the tip top with that shade and just smoke it along the lower lash line, just because I don't normally leave my lower lash line blank. I like to do whatever's happening on the lid on the lower lash line. Maybe I'll go into that other brown a little bit for the rest. Alright, now for my lid. I use a different shimmer pretty much every single day, but I think I'm just going to go into this kind of rose gold one here, and I normally just kind of press my finger in and pick up a little bit of product, and then I tap it off, and I put that all over the lid. And again, just going back in with my blending brush It's just, I mean, it's a little bit more of a messy look. It is what it is. At this point, I like to go into mascara, and the one that I've really been liking is the Thrive Cosmetics mascara, but I cannot find it right now. But I'm just going to go into my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara that I've been using up, just because I feel like it gives a similar effect. When I have this tiny amount of makeup on, I really like to go bold with my lashes. I want them to have their own little moment, so just gonna go ahead and coat my upper and lower lashes. If you're in a hurry and you accidentally get some mascara on your lid, the trick is to let it dry down, because then it will just flake off instead of accidentally smudging it and then you have like a line of black going across your lid. Just let it dry down. So last but not least, I go into my Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter, and this is the shade Fair. I absolutely love this. So here's what it looks like, and I'm using my Shot Missy highlighting brush. Just gonna pick up a little bit of product, and even though I already have super glowy skin, I like to add just a little bit more highlight in that highest point of my cheekbone area. And I love this color. I feel like it blends so beautifully. It's just so nice, and it doesn't look like powder on the skin. I'm just gonna highlight my nose. Yeah, I almost forgot, and I take that and I normally go in. Sometimes I'll go in with my pinky because that's the smallest finger, but I'll just pick up a little bit and pop that shade on the inner corner as well. You know I can't forget my inner corner highlight, even if I only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That is the entire finished look. I just love how that combination of products looks so skin-like and so soft on the skin. It's really what I've been going for. I would say I wear this look about 2 times a week. And then the other days would be like 2 days of glam and 3 days of no makeup during the day, because most of the time I've been filming at night recently, but I do just love how it looks. So I really hope this video was helpful for y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.